Guys, want to make a week 14 news video. First, I went to click on week 13 just to see what I said last week, and apparently my video didn't upload, so I have no idea what happened. I apologize. So hopefully this one will upload. So we are in week 14 and we are almost done. The semester goes so fast. Once you get past that 10-week part, it just really goes fast. Okay, so for week 14, you're starting to get into middle adult. So you're going to start to see some changes in physical development, cognitive development, and of course emotional development. So this is my age. These are my people. And what we look at today as far as research is more developmental researchers are studying middle age because more people are moving into this stage. When you think about the OK boomer, I know you guys have heard that. That's a huge population. Now the millennials, Y generation, of course, you're the top. I know many of you are out there. But you know what? The baby boomers are right behind you. So maybe that's why we see kind of this diversity in thinking. I'm Gen X, so I'm kind of stuck in the middle between the two generations. But one of the interesting things about middle age is the time frame, because that's a huge time frame. Just like adolescence and young adult, middle age starts around 40. And now we pushed it up to about 65. So that's a huge amount of change. What the mythology or misconception is that you hit 40 and all of a sudden things go downhill, like right from the beginning. What's nice about middle age is that it is a gradual change. And your genes are still affected by the environment. So some of the outward changes or physical changes that you see are probably what you see in your parents, or some of you out there middle age. You start to see more wrinkles, gray, dark spots, gray hair. Areas of physical changes start to happen within height. You lose about half an inch a decade. I'm sorry to say, you lose about half an inch a decade. And again, genetics plays a huge part in all the chronic diseases that you start to have. So when you think about young adult, you're more into environmental issues that are happening as far as physical changes. When you hit middle age, it's not so much the environment anymore, it's your own self. It's like your own self turns on yourself and those genes wake up and go, oh, let me give you arthritis. So you think about the chronic diseases that middle age have, and you can look at, again, family history, and then what you've done during your young adult can have a direct effect on the changes that happen. So we look at bone structure, bone density starts to change just a little bit. 20% of your makeup is body fat now, so that starts to change. And of course, menopause, we all know about menopause. Those features start to affect you, and you think about how that affects your overall environment when you go through menopause. And then also to thinking. Believe it or not, middle-aged people are pretty creative. We're actually pretty creative in our thinking. And we have life experiences to create a different way of thinking. You think about all the greatest authors of the age were actually in middle age when they wrote a lot of their novels. So a lot of creative thinking, intelligence becomes more crystallized. Usually young adult, it's more fluid. So you think about how we may look back at our work and our jobs. Most people in middle age are working, and they're well into their job performance and their workload and what they're doing. We do start to think about retirement. The retirement age is 65 at this time. And so we start to think about, preparing for that. You look at Erik Erikson's, that's generativity versus stagnation. So I think in middle age, we start to look at the next generation. I look at my kids. My kids are the millennials. They're, 27. My son is 22, so he's right there pretty much at Gen Z. So that's a different generation altogether. And you do start thinking about their well-being and leaving things for them. So when you think about all the changes that happen, not only the outward physical changes of middle age, what's going on in the inside with middle age, our thinking, how our memory changes, how our creativity changes, our work changes, and even how our emotional stability changes during that age. It is again a progression, and how you look at middle age and how you accept middle age has a lot to do with how well you will successfully move through this process. I'm in my 50s, and I am enjoying, a process of change. My kids are getting older. It's like they're coming back and asking me more questions. I feel like, at first kids kind of move away and kind of want to do their own thing. It's interesting how when your kids get into their 20s, now they're young adults and I'm middle age, they're probably asking me more advice about life than they ever have before. And they really want to know this, like they want to listen. So you can see even parenting just doesn't stop. We had that conversation in class yesterday. One of the students, her kids are my age, and she said you're more of a parent. I feel like I'm more of a parent now than I was back when they were younger. So it never changes. You never stop being a parent, even in middle age. But it is a good time. And it's a process of how we look at life, how we accept the physical changes that are happening, and then how we prepare ourselves for late adulthood. So kind of look at all the changes that happen in middle age. Something else real quick. You saw on the syllabus where it says end of course exam. That measures the student learning outcomes. This is a state legislation thing. We have to measure for student learning outcomes. All the departments have to do it. If we have 36 hours of general education courses, and the courses that fall under the general education, we are required to do student learning outcomes. Those are on your syllabus, so you can literally see what you will be measured for. It has SSS1, SS2, SSS3. In fact, SS2, the cultural, was my doctoral dissertation. I looked at cultural diversity and promoting cultural diversity. We have a departmental exam, so everyone taking human growth and development actually takes the same exam, because we have to calculate the statistics of the student learning outcome and report that back to our departments. I have a study guide for the end of course exam, so I will go ahead and open that study guide for you, so that way you can see what you will be tested on, and I'll open that end of course exam. It really will not take you that long to take. But I do need you to take it. It is a percentage of your grade, because I have to turn the results back to the department. So I'll go ahead and open that. Your last critical thinking exercise is open, and probably sometime next week I'll go ahead and open the last quiz, just for some of you who want to finish up. Because you're working on other classes and have other things to do, I will do that as well. You guys have done an amazing job on the critical thinking exercises. I really get excited, especially about the cultural stuff, because that's my specialty, is cultural diversity. I was really excited to read how you look at your own culture, and I really like the question, if you were raised in another culture, how you would be different. I really was excited about reading those responses. So I'm going to start opening everything up. That way you can guys get done, and you have been just an amazing class, and I just have really enjoyed reading your responses, reading the discussion questions, and I think I may put up a discussion question for middle age. I know some of you will be there someday. Okay, you might as well just prepare yourself now. But I'll get all that open, and have a great weekend, and please have a wonderful holiday next week, and I hope that you'll have some excellent food and get to relax just a little bit. How about that? All right, bye.